All right, there we go. Hello everyone. I think we are live. Let me just check. Yes, we are live. What's up? So, today there is a start of new series in Rust and this is the first day. So, are you ready with me? All right. So, let me set you first of all some context. You must be wondering by watching this video in later point maybe that why Rust. So let me start with this thing. Rust is probably in the current times one of the most fast growing and in demand programming language. The big companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Mozilla, and even Linux are obtaining and acquiring features of Rust and taking its power to make their system more scalable, more efficient. So in this series I'll help you start Rust from very scratch, and hopefully we will cover all the important points that are in Rust so that we can be code in Rust. All right, so in today's stream what we are going to do is we are going to install Rust. We'll set up our first project, we'll start our first project, and we'll learn few things about Rust. All right, so I hope everyone is ready with their laptops, and I'm streaming this live. I'll be live for around like 35 to 40 minutes, and also I'm recording this video in the same time. I'll be posting it as a regular video for the people who later watch this. All right, I mean you can of course watch it on live, but again a separate video will do good. All right, so how do we get started on Rust? It's simple. You need a laptop. All right, and then you need to follow all the links that I'll use are already in the description, so you should check out the description as well. So we will go on rustlang.org. all right, we will have all the important links about everything we can see over here. All right, if you want to get read the book, that is the best documentation that I'll say in my opinion is this. If you want to watch the videos, of course, apart from my videos, here is the link to watch the videos, and the contribution guide is already there. So if you want to do contributions so you can do it over here, but again just be responsible while doing contribution, and of course you have to know something around to do the contributions. All right, let's start with the button. That's the big bold yellow button, get started. All right, I'll go inside get started. So here we have a very awesome and beautiful documentation that has self-explanatory things over here. We need this links. All right, this link you have to copy and run it on your terminal. So let me open terminal. Let me know if the stream is going well and if there is any issue. I hope this would be okay. All right, so you need to copy this link and paste it on your terminal. All right, you need to just hit enter. I have already installed Rust in my system, so I won't do it. All right, so you hit enter. Once you hit enter and everything goes well, then let's move to the next step. All right, so what does it install? So it once you install Rust up, as you say, you will get the latest stable version of Rust, a build tool, and a package manager, also known as cargo. All right, so Rust is very, it comes handy. Let me just tell you what are the features that Rust provides. It provides memory safety with no overhead of garbage collection. All right, we see the performance like C or C++ if we are using Rust. I will not debate over here like is C++ is better than Rust or vice versa, but I'll say using Rust we can get the same speed as C and C++. We get the modern developer friendly tools like cargo just to manage the package and dependencies, and also like docs, etc. All right. So with this link, what we'll get cargo. It will be, it's a package manager. If you are aware, a Node.js, in Node.js we have a file called package.json, and we have package managers that are actively very, like npm, npx, yarn, like that. So in Rust we have cargo. Cargo is used to add dependency, build a project, run a project. So basically it's a package manager. All right, it comes with lots of powers. And if you guys, if you follow like Marco Lenny on LinkedIn, so you must see there are new updates on this as well. I hope so. I think I have read it, if I'm right. All right, so once you do, don't worry about these things. We'll go in detail about in the upcoming chapters or series. All right. So with this we'll get cargo. Cargo is a package manager tool, and it help us to build, run, test, and manage our project. All right. So we have a link of cargo book as well, and you can check by this as well. So once you install this thing, how is the stream going, guys? Is it cool? All right. So yeah, so once this is installed, you can check the version by this. All right, in my case I'm getting this. You can get the cargo version like this, so you'll get all these things like that. Okay. All right, now that we have Rust installed, now let's go and start our first project. So I'll go on documents and projects. Right now here, if I need to start a new project with the help of cargo, what I'll do cargo new. I'll say what do we name? We'll say Rust series. All right. So in order to create a new project with the help of cargo, we'll use cargo new Rust series. All right. The project has been created. Let's go inside it. All right, here we are. So you can use any editor of your choice. In my case I have nvim, neovim installed, so I will open it in nvim. I'll say nvim dot, this will open my project over here. So you can see we have few files generated. Cargo generated us few files. So if I show these files, I'll have a dot folder of git, of course, and a git ignore file. A cargo.toml file has been generated. So it is generated by cargo, and it keep track of the dependencies and packages and the crates used in this project. All right, so if you check this thing, you can say we have a package name, a version, and an addition, and we have a field over here that says dependencies, below which whatever crate we will use in our project will get added inside it. For instance, if I want to add a new crate, so I can take help of our package manager tool called cargo. I'll do cargo add, and I can use, let's say there is a popular crate called chrono that is used to manage date times in our project. So if I do chrono, I'll say cargo add chrono. It's doing something same like yarn add movement.js or npm install movement.js. All right, so if I do cargo add chrono, cargo will install all these things in on my project. And if I exit this, you can see I have a new entry below dependency. So it means a chrono dependency, a chrono crate has been added on my project. All right, let me close this file cargo.toml, and okay, guys, give me a minute. All right, so I hope you understand what cargo does. We'll go on these topics in details in the upcoming chapters. All right, so as soon as you see, as I added a new entry or new crate on my project, I have a file called cargo.log. So it logs the version of whatever I am using right now. So you see, this help us in maintaining whenever we have a very large team, and when we transfer project, so this package.log file will help us installing the same dependency, which reduces the it makes the code less error prone in case of dependencies. So when the project get transferred, this exact same dependency will get installed with the help of cargo.log file. All right, it's the same like package.log, right? Yarn.log, something like that. All right, let's move on. We have a src folder over here. If I start this thing, on the src folder I'll have a main.rs file. Now this main.rs, what is this main.rs? This main.rs file is the entry point of our code base. So every code has an entry point, right? An entry file. A popular you must be aware is like in some it's index.js, or in a different project. So here on the Rust project we have an entry file over here that is called main.rs. all right, this is the entry file. So if I open this main.rs, I'll have a function that is called hello world. That is the most common and most hello world, you know what I mean. Now let's go with this thing. What is this fn is written, what is main, if you are aware of any programming language, you must see it's a function syntax, right? Fn is a keyword that denotes that main is a function. All right, this name, parenthesis, and these braces denotes its scope. All right, so it means it's a main function. Now a main.rs file is the entry file of a Rust of a project, and main function is the entry function. All right, so everything, when the project starts, everything will start from here. All right, so inside this we have another thing written over here that says hello world. All right, now what is this println, and what's this sign over here, an exclamation mark? You see, please don't like compare it with this function, because it's a name written over here and a parentheses, right? You must see, whenever we encounter this special character exclamation mark and a function like syntax, it's called macro. So you don't get overwhelmed or humbled by this thing. We will definitely go in the upcoming videos what a macro is, what there are procedural macros and custom macros you can create. All right, so we will go in detail about them. So for now, you can see, if we want to print something on the console, we will use println, and println is not a function, it's a macro. So you need to make sure whenever we get this exclamation mark with a function like syntax, it's not a function, it's a macro. A function will be plain a name and a parenthesis. All right, so here we go, we have a hello world. Now let's see how do we define variables in it. All right, so to define a variable, we'll start with let. All right, let is a keyword. We'll say a variable name. I'll say name, and I'll do something like this. All right, if you are aware of every like other programming language, you must be like not finding it difficult. So this is how we define a variable. So I'll say let name Vipin Joshi. All right, now how do I print this name onto the console? I'll have to follow a syntax that says this, right? And I'll do name. I make a placeholder over here on the println, and this placeholder follows an order. All right, so if I do this kind of thing, I will get an error because I don't have a variable to fill in over here on the second placeholder. All right, and the order matters. So if I use name and some other variable called name2, then I will get it printed in an order, first name and then name2. But if I change the order, so it follows an order. All right, so if I do name2 and name, then name2 will be printed first. I will not expect that name will print first. All right, so it follows an order. That makes sense, So let me just remove this thing. All right, so I hope this this is making sense to you guys. All right, now let's run this thing. How do we run a project? Again, we will take help of our package manager like cargo. All right, So there are two things while running a project. First we need to build it, right? Build it, and then we need to run it. Now build and run are, these are two different set of operations. We will go in details in the upcoming videos on that. So when we need to check whether our project is compiling successfully or not, then we will do cargo build. All right, now let's see what happens after cargo build. So you see it says it has compiled these thing. This is the dependency that we used, chrono, and the rust series, the folder that the project that we created, and it created a dev profile. All right, it is a dev profile in our local. All right, let me just exit this and see what changes do we have over here. So if I unhide few things, I'll see a target folder over here, guys. This target folder is created once we build a project. All right, if I build a project, I'll have a target and a debug folder. Okay, I have a JSON folder, JSON file over here, and a debug folder over here. This debug folder has all our information regarding this project. All right, we have a cargo.log, we have a series.d file, a series file. All right, a build folder, as you can see, and these are our build files. All right, so we'll go in depth. We'll not go in depth today. This is our first day of the series, so we will be just should be able to run the project and just make a mental map of what is it, right? Okay, so this is how you build a project. All right, now there is another way. You see there are two operations now. So if I need to build a project and I need to run a project, I will not do every time that I will go and first build a project and then run a project. All right, so what I can do, I'll use cargo. I'll say cargo run. Now cargo run, what cargo run does is it will run your project, but it will also build your project. So two operations in one, build plus run. So most of the time we'll use cargo run. So if I do cargo run, you see first it will optimize, and because we have already the target folder created, so it will just pick it from here, and then it will run from this location, target debug rust series. All right, so let me just show you. There is also a thing. Let me just tell you first. So with cargo build, my target folder got created, and when I do cargo run, it will pick it from here, from the target debug rust series. This is the file that our cargo run project is running. All right, so what if I want to delete this thing? All right, there should be one query, right? So how do I clean a target folder, a build folder that is already created? I'll do cargo clean. All right, if I do cargo clean, it will remove files. My project is, I need to build it again now. So if I go here, I can see the target folder has been removed, right? It has cleaned the project. All right, now let me just show you how cargo run works. All right, so we don't have any target folder right now. So if I do cargo run, you can see it's building my project. It's again compiling first, then picking the my file from the target debug rust series. All right, so if I go here, you see my target is built, target folder is created. So this means every time we will create a project, we'll simply do cargo run instead of making two operations, cargo build and cargo run. All right, if we want to run a project and build it all together, we'll simply use cargo run. We will not do cargo build first and then cargo run. Cargo run already builds a project, compiles it, and pick it up from the target debug folder. All right, but if we just want to compile our project, we don't want to run it, then we'll specifically use cargo build. All right, now let's see what happens. If I do a cargo run, you see what I'm getting? Hello world Vipin Joshi. This is what we should expect, right? This is what written in our println statement. Now you see the statement that I said, hello world, and this is the Vipin Joshi, the variable that I created over here, right? Let me just exit this thing. So I hope you understand how variable works and all. Now one important thing, I have name written over here as Vipin Joshi, right? What if I want to update this name? Can I do something like name equal to hello? Can I do this thing? name equal to hello. No, I cannot do this. Why? There's a very important and very beautiful thing of Rust is going on over here. By default, you cannot mutate a variable in Rust. Rust variables are immutable. All right. So this added another layer of a kind of a security, or a kind of very strictness. All right. Rust variables are immutable by default. If you want to mutate a Rust variable, you will have to specify a mute keyword. All right. You see, as soon as I specify a mute keyword, I can update the name variable to hello. Right. So I hope you'll this is a very important point over here, guys. You should note it. Variables in Rust are immutable by default. If you want to mutate a variable, you need to add a mute keyword in front of a variable that you want to mutate. All right, let's keep it back on the places. All right, let's extend this thing. All right, I hope you understand how we can do this thing, name, all right, and print it. Now let's extend these things. Now what if let's add an exercise over here. So our exercise will be ask the user for its name and print it. Did you get it, guys? I want to do an exercise. So till now I understand how do we create a Rust project, how we can take help of Cargo to build and run it, and also create a project. How do we create a build files that are already created? So we use Cargo clean, and if we want to only build a project, we'll use Cargo build. And if you want to run a project, you will not do separate Cargo build and separate Cargo run. You can do only Cargo run. This will compile and build the project and pick it up from the target and build target/build/ that project file that has been created to run the project. Okay, now we also understand that how variables in Rust are immutable, and if you want to mutate it, you have to specify a mute keyword. All right, now here's the exercise that from all these things that we have learned. The exercise is you have to ask the user for its name and print it. So here is something we will add on, right? Here we will take help of already the libraries, the modules that Rust provides, that is called IO. All right, the standard library in Rust has an IO module that we will use to take input from the user from the terminal, and we will print it. Up till now, what you say, we have hard coded our name, right? We said okay, let a name equal to we did something like that for now, right? I'll say let name equals some ABCD, right? And I just printed it, right? I said your name. I did that, right? So name was basically hard coded, right? This ASD and some gibberish is already hard coded. But in place of hard coding a variable, what I want is this name should be entered from the terminal. I want the name to be entered by the user. I want to take user's input. How do we do that? So you must have seen whenever you start any programming course, they show first a basic stuff, then they show how you can take the user's input. This, first of all, this maintains an interest, right? You got to do something. All right, how do we do that now? We'll assume this line will not change because this name variable has to be filled in with some user input, right? So what we will do over here is we will take help of a standard library that has an IO module, and we'll take help of this thing. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, let me check. Wolf's friend, are you using AI? No, sir, no, not using an AI. All right, now how do we do that? All right, so first of all, we need to define a type, and then we need to use IO module to take the input. We have to read the line. All right, so I'll say, because currently here you can see I'm hard coding the value, so I know that it will be a string, and I just created a string slice over here. It's not a string, it's a string slice. All right, this is a different will come. It's a difference related to how Rust handles them on the memory side. So that will be in the upcoming videos. Now if I want to take input from the user side, first of all I need to define that what will be the type of that input, because it is a strongly typed language, right? Types are the first class citizens over here, so everything will be typed over here. So I need to define a type, so I'll say it's of type string. Now string has an associated function in it called from. All right, this creates a new string, but if you want to it creates an empty string over here which has the type of string within capital S. It's not a new string, it's a type. All right, but if I want to create a new string, I'll say this thing. I'll tell you why, what does this double colon means, and we will get to know this thing when we start creating our own struct, right? When we create our struct, when we create our enum, then I'll tell you why do we have this, and why don't we did a string dot new, right? Why did we do string double colon new, and what is the associated function, what is a normal function, like that. Okay, so we will get to know. Now here I defined a variable called name. I defined its type. I assigned a new string to it. All right. Now what I will do, I'll say I need to use IO from the standard. You see, IO from, so standard.io, standard double colon IO module contains a number of common things you will need to do when doing input and output. So IO already defines input and output, right? That's what we have to do. So I'll import this thing. You see, as soon as I import the thing, I have the line added over here. I will say use standard IO. All right, this is how we import things over here. Unlike JS, we do import this from this, right? Here we say use stdio. All right, we have a crate, or if you want to use a crate, if you want to use a module, if you want to use a library over here, library struct or function, you will do something like that. All right, and it has a function called this standard input. All right, so if I do a standard input over here, this takes the input from the terminal. All right, so it will open the input stream from the terminal. Now I'll say read line. I want to read line. You see all the syntax, just don't get overwhelmed from him. Okay, just follow me for a second. We will go in detail with each of these things in the upcoming videos. That you see, you are saying what is mute string and self, what is this result, usize, what is this error. We'll go in detail. Okay, so now it takes a buffer. All right, now this read line will have to take a buffer over here. And what is that buffer? The buffer is the name that I created. All right, now here is the catch. You see, it is telling me that use and mute name. If you can see on the first suggestions, what is this? I'll tell you. All right, for now, let's say if we don't do anything, we'll say okay, I want the buffer to be stored in this name. All right, now one thing to note over here, as I already told, a variable is immutable by default. So but as soon as a user types, that buffer keeps on updating, right? So it needs to be mutable. I hope this makes sense. A user will continuously type read for the input, right? So std input is like a radar. It has opened and it's ready to fetch the input. Now I'm using a read line function. All right, now read line function will keeps on reading the line until I press the enter. All right, so I will just a user will just keep on adding the input. So this name has to be mutable. All right, because it will take the first name, but as soon as I press, let's say I press V, it will take it, but as soon as I press I, it will just it will not take it. So read line will take a mutable. I hope this makes sense why we have to make a mutable. Now this read line function has a kind of a requirement. You see, we have IntelliSense over here that says the buffer should be a mutable reference of a string. All right, so to make a mutable reference, I'll say a reference is denoted by ampersand, and I'll say mute. That makes sense, right? Now I can do that. So one thing you must see, if I go inside it, what does it return? It returns a result. All right, a result will have basically two values. It will have either a OK value, that means everything goes well. It will have a value of a particular kind that we want, and the second thing it has is an error. In case of it, it just in case of it error out. So result is having an OK value and an error value. All right, so we will go in detail in the upcoming lectures of that. For now, just to diminish this, we'll say expect, and here we will have a message. I'll say fail to read input. So expect will handle the error case over here. So we are avoiding result. We are avoiding to handle the result over here, right? We should not do that. We should handle every error and every value gracefully. So a read line, I mean, you can do that. I mean, but if you want to perform some actions over there in case of OK or in case of error, then you have to handle those result values. For now, we can say if anything goes wrong with read line, I'll say fail to read the input. It's in case of everything backfires. All right. So read line will take a mutable reference of name, and in case of error, I'll say dot expect fail to read the input. All right. Now fail to read the input. Okay. Now this IO std input that I am doing, what it's doing, it's saving all the buffer into this thing, in this buffer, right? The entire stream in this buffer. Now when I do your name this thing and print out the variable, I will have the value that is already entered by the user. Now if you know, on the first program that we run, if I run your name, if I do hard code it, you must be seeing that I got the name surrounded by double quotes, right? So how do I remove those double quotes? I'll do trim. All right. So let's see how it goes. This variable we created name, we created mutable because the buffer is continuously on update. All right. We defined a type by initializing it a new string. All right. And we used IO module. Inside that IO module, we have standard input functions, and standard input function has a function called read line that will stores a mutable reference of that buffer. So everything that I print on the terminal will goes inside this, that stream will go inside this buffer, and in case of any error, we will supposed to handle that error. In that case, we used expect fail to read input. All right, now let's just do cargo run. Now let's see how it goes. Now it is waiting for, right? You see, now the standard input is actively working over here. Now if I do hello rust until I press enter, because it is waiting for the line only, right? So if I press enter, it will print your name hello rust. Correct, your name hello rust. So you see how I take the input from the user and it just entered, right? So let me just add few more details over here. I'll take a name. I want to print it so that it looks good. I'll say enter your name human. All right, now this way I'll have, so in case of new line, I will say \n. So this way it goes on the next line. All right, now let's run this. Enter your name human. I hope you see that, enter your name human. Now let's do one thing, it just keep coming over here, so I'll add a new line on the front as well. All right, now let's run this. Okay, we have a good spacing over here. Enter your name human. I'll say rusty crab. I'm a rusty crab. I'll hit enter. You say your name rusty crab. All right, so I hope you understand what we did today. Let me just give you a few things. Let me walk you through what we did. We created a project. We first of all installed rust from this thing, rust.org, right? We have a get started button over here, a beautiful documentation that you can follow. Everything is written over here. All right, you copy this thing, you install, you get few things over here. You get a package manager, absolute powerhouse called cargo, and you build a project with cargo, you run the project. So basically it's a manager, right? And so then in order to create a new project, what we did cargo new, right? We did cargo new in order to create a new project, and here we wrote a project name, right? Then we hit enter, then the new project name has been created. Okay, the new project has been created. Now each project has few files: cargo.toml, cargo.log, gitignore, and .git, and the src file. All right, so cargo.log, it logs the versions that of the dependency that I'm using, so that when I transfer a project, then it help us to log the dependency, right? So that we don't have any issues while doing that. Cargo.toml file is like it's maintaining a dependency versions, whatever dependency that we are using, right? And when we do cargo build, it just pick it up from here and help us to build the exact things and all right. Now when we want to build a project, we'll use cargo build. Cargo build will create a target folder inside which we have a build folder, and inside which we have a file that will run when I use cargo run. Alright, so cargo build and cargo run are two different operations. If you don't want to run the project, just compile it, you have to do cargo build. If you want to run the project, then you don't have to do cargo build separately. You can always do cargo run. That will first of all build the project, compile it, and then start it. Alright, now and if I go on main file, so every project will have a main.rs file over here. This main.rs file is the entry file. Alright, and inside this we have a main function that is the entry point of this entire project. Alright, and we understand why how variables that we create are immutable by nature in Rust. Alright, and if you want to mutate that thing, we need to keep a keyword that is called mute. Alright, so we printed our name, and we just solve an exercise that says we have to take a user from a name from the user from the terminal. Alright, we did that by using IO module. It has a standard in function, and it has a function called read line that that accepts the input, one liner input, and we handled the error case by using expect. Alright, and this is how we created our first project and our simple first application, that is taking input from the user. Alright, so okay, that is it for today. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is our first day, we just started it. Alright, it's going to be fun, so stay tuned. We are going to be like very fueled up in the upcoming chapters, so make sure you have your laptops ready. And the take home assignment for today is you have to ask the, as you can say, you also have to ask the favorite drink of the user. So I'll say ask for favorite drink, and you have to show that to the user that okay, your name is this and your order is this. Alright, so it's a kind of order. You take the order from the user and be creative. Alright, do anything whatever you want and just feel free to explore the other things as well. If you have any questions, make sure you comment them down. And yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you on the next one. Hello Bhargav, what's up, how you doing? Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I'll see you next time. We'll have something very fun. We'll keep this exercise and this series fun with these fun exercises. Alright, and then we can have a good series over here. Alright, and share this video with your friends if you want to learn together. Alright, okay guys, bye bye, I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.